Oh man, this is so hot today. Today I want to leave my bubble, which is this beautiful area where I'm living. I'm going to be heading to the big city. This is one of the last opportunities I use my Panasonic GH5. 2 years ago, I made a video where I said that I would buy a new camera. This is my Lumix GH5. Really love my GH5. Maybe it's time to say goodbye to it very soon. Nothing happened since then, but now it's the time to get a new one. And there is a reason why. And this is what the German highway looks like, the German Autobahn. I'm entering Munich City. This is Munich City, the capital of the federal state of Bavaria. This is the shop I'm looking for. So I really got a good offer from this guy from this camera shop, and I guess tomorrow I'm gonna be a new owner of the GH5. I'm gonna miss you. €8 for just 2 hours. You gotta be kidding me. But for €8 I can get at least a glimpse at this beautiful Isar River, which hopefully helps me to decide whether I should take the offer or not. Turn the theme music on. Whoa, this is it, the Sony A7S III. That's the body. Oh, smells fresh. That's the lens. Does it make click? Hello? Is it recording? Autofocus seems to work as I expected. This is my first official video shot with the A7S III without having read the manual, without any external microphone, just with the factory settings. I don't even know if it's 4K, but it doesn't matter for now. It's 4:15. I just have 1 hour to get familiar with the cam. This is a small Bavarian castle. It's maybe not the kind of castle you might know from fairy tales, but it has its kind of charm. The reason why I bought the camera is that I was hired to make a concert video, and I had the feeling to step up the game in terms of image quality, color science, and low-light capabilities. But I have to confess, just 1 hour to learn a new camera is simply too short. This is why I decided to stick to my good old GH5. I know this camera, it's a reliable workhorse, and it would simply break my heart to just leave the GH5 behind. But at least I'm gonna use the A7S III for wide angle and 4K slow motion shots, and for vlogging. This is the concert hall. Today, I'm not shooting BTS or Travis Scott. It is more cultural stuff from local musicians like, jazz, world music, opera, classical music, something like that. Let me take the A7S III and shoot some stuff. This is, by the way, the first time in my life that I see an original harpsichord in real life. I do not dare to touch it. I'm standing on the stage right now and it's so impressive. The stage looks really, really tiny from here. Hear the bells? For once in my lifetime, I was allowed to play the harpsichord, but my camera was set to slow motion, wrong exposure, and no audio. The first concert visitors are pouring in. The concert starts in a few moments, but let me tell you something first. Is mastering After Effects enough? That question implies that, of course, it's not enough. And I'm not necessarily talking about skills of the same field, like 3D animation or editing. I'm convinced that for a freelancer nowadays, it's mandatory to have more than one creative skill. I'm talking about skills that requires you to leave your desk or your comfort zone. It could be project managing, where you learn to understand why a project manager puts a lot of pressure on you. Or it could be content conception, helping you to translate complex ideas into conceivable visuals. In my case, it's video shooting. Sorry guys, I've got a job to do. Let's call it a day. So, how does video shooting makes me a better After Effects guy? Well, first of all, it trains me how to frame the picture. Ever heard of a full shot? Or an extreme full shot? Or an American shot, and I think it's obvious why it's also called the cowboy shot. Or the Dutch angle, which makes the situation kind of unbalanced. Anyways, it helps me to make better visual compositions in After Effects or motion design in general. The other reason is that I do a lot of stuff where video footage and motion design are interconnected. In a technical sense, video shooting helps me to create footage that has less issues in post-production. For example, in tracking footage. Through video shooting, I learned how to place tracking markers correctly to make the footage easy to track. So, video shooting helps me to understand things better in After Effects, for example like rotoscoping, tracking, or compositing. Shooting footage that is self-explanatory makes me create less complex motion design. Conversely, I can visualize information via motion graphics that a video isn't able to show. It doesn't have to be shooting a video, it could be something else for you. When you get stuck because you can't find a creative or technical solution in After Effects, it's a common brainstorm technique to do something different, to free your mind for a new approach. It could be daydreaming, hiking to the lake, gardening, or just being interested in other creative fields like architecture, dancing, painting. Like I said in the beginning, it's all about leaving your bubble to get your brain fed with new impressions. As for myself, I find it helpful to stay within the realm around After Effects to get a different point of view. There is another passion of mine besides video shooting, and that is music. And this is why this project was a big jackpot for me. Video shooting while being in the midst of a concert, in touch with the artists. In a way, animation or motion design is visual music, as they have more in common than you think, like rhythm, pacing, texture, fade in, fade out, repetition. By the way, I ended up mixing A7S3 and GH5 footage with a little color matching. The average audience won't notice any difference anyway. The first shot of this video was shot on a GH5, and so is the last one. See you next time. Well, this isn't quite a harpsichord, but maybe I can squeeze a similar sound out of it.